Hello, good afternoon. My name is Tavis Taylor, and I am the founder of Mothers of Brown Boys. I'm super excited to be here today. I titled this Parenting Ain't for Punks because number one, I wrote a book about it, Parenting Ain't for Punks book. But number two, um, today, more than ever, parenting simply ain't for punks, excuse me. I want to give you a chance to join in um, on this live because I'm going to discuss some information. As a parenting coach and a certified Christian counselor, I have a passion definitely for brown boys. That is why I wrote the book Parenting Ain't for Punks. I have a passion for brown boys. I'm parenting two amazing sons. They are 22 and 11, and they are definitely in their age appropriate lifestyle. But I came on today for something more serious that's pressing, that is definitely it bothers me. It bothers me greatly. Of course, I could sell you a book. I could sell you a book. I could sell you a class. I could do all of that today, but today I just want to talk. This is my social justice day. This is my, you know what? I am a parenting coach, certified Christian counselor, but more importantly, I am a Christian, a woman of God, and a parent. I'm a mom. I'm a single mom of two brown boys, and I created Mob because there is a level of interesting things that we as moms of brown boys, whether you're married, single, that we contend with. But I don't want to just focus on us today. I want to focus on, as a parenting coach, I want to focus on what we are contending with. I want to focus on the fact that school is getting ready to start for some people. And I've watched so much shaming people on one, you have options. So they say, send your children to school, homeschool them, or this thing called a hybrid. I'm not even familiar with a hybrid, but you either send them to school or you homeschool and find a way to do that. I will tell you, the decision to do it is hard for everybody. If you're sending them to school, that's hard. If they're staying at home with you and you work full time and you're there and you don't have a nanny, that's hard. This COVID-19 has come and taken us all by surprise. All I'm asking you, because here's the thing about your opinion, it's not the only one. Here's the thing about what you would do. I found in life that sometimes if you find yourself in a situation, sometimes you will do something different when you find yourself in it. Case in point, with COVID-19, there are people who were avid and advocating for COVID not being real, and they got COVID-19, and some of them have passed away. God rest their soul. There are people who have known it's real and haven't left the house. There are people who have lost. There are people who still have their jobs. There are people who have not been affected by COVID at all. I repeat, there are people, their main inconvenience is having to wear a mask. Then there are people who know people who have passed away from COVID. Then there are people who know people who know people who passed away. And then you have the people like me who have talked to people with COVID, who have woke up in the middle of the night or been awakened by phone calls saying the devil is talking to me. I've got COVID. I should just kill myself. And it's not a fun place for us to be in. But all I'm asking you to do is to treat your fellow human beings as human beings. No one race, no one demographic, no one political party has all of the answers. You've got to do what's best for you. Because think about it. There are single moms who have to go to work. There are married moms and dads who have to go to work. There are people who have been laid off who got unemployment. There are people who have been laid off who didn't get unemployment. There are people who had COVID because they decided to go to work. There are people who caught COVID because they let their children come in and just give them a hug. And so we have all of these different scenarios surrounding COVID. And I am just asking you to please stop judging other people's decisions. You know, one of the saddest things that I watched happen was Herman Cain. Remember, the presidential candidate? God rest his soul, because he's not the only one. But I watched him say, hey, I get to go to this rally and I don't have to wear a mask. And I don't understand the anger with mask or without mask. I personally don't understand it. But needless to say, 9 days after he attended a rally, it doesn't matter whose rally it was, he passed away. And so COVID doesn't have a face. It doesn't have a name. Now, it used to have a race. Remember when it first came out and they said, oh my gosh, it is, and it was killing African Americans with pre-existing conditions at alarming rates. Okay, at first it was. But guess what? We've all found out. COVID is not a racist. COVID does not discriminate. They told us that COVID was did not affect children. Children have COVID now. And so because we don't know, because it's the unknown, I just ask that you please stop judging somebody else's decisions, because you don't have to walk in their shoes. You don't have to live their life. You don't know what it's like to be them, because guess what? I don't know what it's like to be you. All I ask, especially if you are Christians, especially if you are Christians. You know, I think about Jesus, and this wasn't going to turn into a sermon, but y'all know I'm so churchy. I think about Jesus when they were getting ready to stone the woman who had sinned. And everybody was pretty much saying, crucify her, crucify her. And I don't know what Jesus wrote in the sand. But he said, let he that is without sin cast the first stone. And so he started writing. I don't know if he wrote their sins. I don't know if he wrote they didn't believe in COVID. I don't know if he wrote they did believe in COVID. I don't know what he wrote, but what I will tell you is this. Regardless of what he wrote, what Jesus asked us to do is not what most Christians are doing today. We are judgmental. We are not putting ourselves in other people's shoes. And then we're still talking about Jesus and going to church, and we're doing it all in the name of Jesus. Stop. You don't know the cost of somebody's oil. You know, I have a friend. She's I love her so much. She is a CEO's wife. She's amazing. She's powerful. She's, in my definition, she's wealthy. My issues are not her issues, but this is what we laugh about all the time. I tell her, I don't want your life. And she tells me she does not want mine. And so this is what I will tell you, that I'm asking that you take the cards that you were dealt, regardless if you feel like it's the best cards and you're better than somebody else, or if you feel like you are the lowest of the low. You take the cards that you were dealt. You stand flat-footed. You pray to your God for protection. And you keep it moving. And you don't be persuaded by your peers. Because if you are born again and you are tongue talking and you Holy Ghost filled, the Lord speaks to you. And you've got to make a decision on what's best for you. This hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy for anybody. But I want you today, I ask you today to please stop judging somebody else's decision. You don't know the cost of their oil. And here is the thing about it. Your oil ain't no better than theirs. Your situation is no better than theirs. There's always somebody out there that's prettier than you, finer than you, smarter than you, richer than you. So please, I just ask that as people are making decisions, as they are doing what they feel is best for their families, can you please stop judging people's decision on whether or not they are going to send their children to school. Do you know how many people have almost drank themselves into a drunken stupor that y'all don't know about because of this decision? Do you know how many people are taking Valium, smoking pot, eating too much? See, what I find, since we're out here swimming, and I am a certified Christian counselor, so I talk to people. What I find, though, is that which is why COVID is running rampant, is because we live in a society where everything is so hush hush. I'm not going to tell anybody I'm depressed. I'm not going to tell anybody I have anxiety. I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm drinking. I'm not going to tell nobody I'm eating too much. Well, you can look at scale and tell that. I'm not going to tell nobody that I don't really want to send my child back to school, but I'm afraid what my peers is going to say. So we have all of these secrets welling up on the inside of us. And everybody is keeping a ton of secrets. And this is what you have today. This is what you have today. People being judgmental. People silently not having anywhere to go. Do you know how many people have reached out to me and said, I believe I can trust you with my real feelings. I can't even tell my husband how I feel. Because people don't have a safe place. Guess why? Because we are so judgmental. I ask seriously. I pray that you can hear my heart with this, because I have 2 brown boys. My 22-year-old. And if you have a 22-year-old, you definitely understand they make their own decisions. And I have my 11-year-old. And I have to make a decision in about 3 minutes, really about 3 days, on whether or not I'm going to send him back to school, or if I'm going to just figure out how to homeschool him. It's not easy for any of us. And I think I've been on here long enough. I want to thank you so much for joining. This is not a shameless plug for anything else I do besides be a woman of God, a minister of the gospel, who wrote the book Parenting Ain't for Punks, because guess what? It is not. And I'm asking you, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, as a lover of God, to please don't judge anybody else's decision. Thank you so much for joining. I'll talk with you really soon. Bye.